I love focusing on coordination and footwork with younger athletes. Hand-eye coordination is huge. I get a chance to work with athletes from pro down to the youth level. Most of the players I work with are high school and some junior high. But during the winter, we do a lot of youth basketball. And for me, it's not so much about how many games you're going to play, how many games we're going to play. I think there's a lot of time ahead of young athletes for them to be playing in games. And what's one of the biggest complaints we get as athletes get older is people saying, they play too many games. Too many games, AAU tournaments, 6, 7 games in a weekend or even more on a crazy amount of games on even a single day, losing some of that competitiveness. And so for me, especially with young athletes, of course, we want to teach them the rules and things of that nature. But my emphasis, especially at that level, is not play, 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 scrimmage, scrimmage, scrimmage. How many games can they get in when they're 10 years old? It's more about building the base, And so we'll do some silly stuff. We'll do balloons and two balls and do some stuff with cones and silly things that we'll have them do with their feet and their hands, and we'll try to overload them with like dribbling and giving them a math problem or a communication exercise, different sized balls that they have to work on catching and throwing, and just really being able to use their feet, really being able to build their hand-eye coordination at a young age. I feel like this is going to do a couple things. One, it's a lot of fun, right? Even as an adult, I jump in with a 10-year-old doing a drill that involves two basketballs or passing, catching, some cross steps with their feet, doing a figure-8 run, trying to tap a balloon up in the air. It's fun, it's engaging, and I think from a educational standpoint, sometimes we underestimate all the motor learning that's going on when we're able to overload an athlete as far as being able to get them to do multiple things at the same time. That could be doing a dribble and thinking about a math problem. That could be dribbling a ball and trying to hit a balloon at the same time. That could be playing catch, but also running in a figure-8, or dribbling and running in a figure-8. Lots of different examples that we could give. So if you work with youth athletes, I really wouldn't, and I personally, at least, I'm not going to try to give you advice. I'm just a little more of my philosophy is we want to teach them the rules. Of course, we want all our players to understand traveling, double dribbling, all of our young players, if they can dribble with their right hand, if they can dribble with their left hand, if they can pivot off of either foot, and if they can play defense, on ball and off ball, stay in between who they're guarding the basket. If they can do those main three things, dribble with either hand, pivot, and then being able to play solid defense, they're already at 10 years old above the majority of players, right? They understand pivoting compared to a double dribble, a travel, go with either hand, dribble, defend, pivot. We have a good, solid foundation. So from that standpoint of teaching the game, combining that with how can we overload them and make them fun as far as building their general base of footwork and hand-eye coordination, for me, that's a great foundation that we're trying to build with all of our youth players.